Well, Drekker Brewing has just released Whisper Scream, a Nordic farmhouse IPA brewed with a traditional Scandinavian ingredient.
We are celebrating it.
Woohoo!
Jesse Fagan from Drekker Brewing Company is here to talk to us about the new drink, and obviously a few others as well lined up here on the table. Welcome to the show, man. Great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
So you want to start with a new one, or you want to start with...
Sure, let's start with a new one. That's Whisper Scream right here.
Mm-hmm.
Is it's a Nordic farmhouse IPA, and what makes this one different is it's brewed with a yeast that's been kind of handed down through the generations through brewers in Norway and Sweden, and there's a guy who went over. He kind of writes a blog about beer and became fascinated with this, and so just in the last year or so, this has become available to American brewers.
So let me ask you this, man. How much of brewing a beer is science and how much is art? I mean, how do you sit around and go...
It's about the perfect balance of art and science. I mean, there's a lot of science involved, but if that's all you're relying on, it's kind of boring. So it's fun to get a little artistic, but you have to stay within the...
So tell me some of the brews you've thought up and you're like, wow, that was...
And then you're like, nope, that didn't work.
Honestly, most of the ones we've thought up, we've actually tried. So.
That's when there's anybody that are like, oh my gosh, that was terrible. I would never do that again.
There aren't any that we've done, but
You've had some like that?
There are some out there where people have put, cheeseburgers in it.
So what's one that you thought of and you're like, wow, I had no idea it was going to taste this good?
Well, so for a good example is this coconut killer right here.
Mm-hmm.
This is our, we started we call it our Valhalla series, which is just kind of, we didn't know what to call that, how to categorize it. We just figured, well, this is a really weird one. We put coconut in it, and it's in a coconut in an IPA is kind of weird, coconut and hoppy, but it's vanilla and lactose sugar, which makes it kind of creamy and sweet. Ooh. And so that combination just works, and that was one I was really worried about, to be honest.
Can I ask a dumb question? What's Valhalla?
Valhalla is like Viking heaven. It's a giant beer hall in the sky. When you die in battle, you go to the
giant beer hall?
You go to the beer hall in the sky.
Did you know that?
I like that. I didn't know that. But so is that going to be more like a porter, like a darker?
No, it's light, light yellow.
Really?
Kind of hazy, but yeah, it's an IPA.
You say the words like vanilla, and I always lean towards the dark porter beers for some reason.
No, it uses the lactose and vanilla, so it kind of actually gives it kind of an ice cream like finish.
Ooh! So. Oh, I'm definitely gonna put that one on the list to try. Now let's go on to this one, because this is one that I've known to be on your guys' board since the day you opened your doors.
Yeah, Milk Maiden. Milk Maiden is our chocolate milk stout, and that one, yeah, it's kind of
chocolate milk
that's
stout?
That's our big winter seasonal. It's conditioned on cocoa nibs and brewed with some of that lactose sugar again that just kind of thickens it up a little bit, makes it a little creamy and just a little sweetness to it. But
you're not going to notice if these are gone at the end, are you?
There's just like one missing from each group of four. Oh shoot, this was only a 3-pack. Okay, let's move on to the next one.
Pillager Porter.
Pillager.
So this one has been around since the day we opened. That was when we opened the doors 3 years ago. We had 5 beers, and that was one of them. And we were actually just canning it for the first time today. So this beer has never been available in packages. Yeah.
Woohoo!
Until today.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're really excited about that. It's been a long time
called the North
coming.
Dakota Today exclusive, isn't it?
Woohoo! Well, I know a lot of people
have been first to break the news.
They were coming with their glass jugs to fill them up, and now.
Right.
Woohoo! Now they're in cans, ready to go. I do love the Wheeze the Juice.
Yeah.
Is that because of Wiz Khalifa?
No, it's actually an Encino Man reference.
Oh.
So watch the movie. You won't regret it. But Wheeze the Juice is it's kind of our first venture into the hazy IPA, which is kind of a really light, citrusy, not very bitter IPA.
That's why I like it.
When people think IPA, they think hoppy and bitter, and this is kind of one of the first things we did to kind of counteract that, to just say no, just try it. It's not going to make you pucker up afterwards. It's mostly it's like drinking pineapple orange juice.
I love that. And that's one of the things I think too, is if you're not into too hoppy, this kind of helps you transition a little bit easier into some of those other beers.
Okay, another dumb question. India Pale Ale. Is there any real reference to India in that beer, or what's the...
It's kind of a historical reference where back in the British colonial days in India, the British soldiers wanted beer, and the only way to get it to India without it spoiling was to load it up with hops. And so it'd be really, really bitter, but it would make the trip around the Horn of Africa. And so by the time they got back to England, they had developed a taste for it and wanted more of it. So that's kind of how that whole thing got started.
Yeah.
Interesting.
They're much different than the IPAs we're drinking today, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of history there.
And last but not least, because this one's got the pink on it.
The Ectogasm IPA, that's kind of like Wheeze the Juice, but everything ratcheted up a couple notches. That's a Citra Mosaic IPA that's really very citrusy, smooth. Again, not real bitter. That one's been one of the most popular beers we've ever released.
Is it funny to think now you guys are a downtown destination people go there for, and you guys were in a garage when you very first started? I mean,
Yeah,
going from someone's garage to a hot spot in downtown Fargo.
Right, it's a little crazy to think about. We brewed together for 5 years, just talking about what we'd do if we had our own brewery for a long time, and to have it now and working on a new bigger brewery right now is pretty exciting.
It's awesome.
And they have lots of fun events happening down there. And of course, you can also rent out the space too if you have maybe a company party or a birthday party. Hint, hint, Chris, throw me a birthday party there.
Thank you very much for being here, man. We appreciate
thanks for
it.
having me.
Thanks for introducing the new beer. First time ever. It's in a can, you said, right?
First time ever in a can.
Woohoo!
That's awesome. All right, stick around. When we come back, it is the holidays. We're going to give you some great ideas at a certain salon in town. Stick around.